Hey there, crafty friends. Today we are going to craft one of our tiered tray pieces from our bee set. This is the honeycomb piece that says be kind, and I have a couple little fun techniques I'm going to do. If you want to stick around to the end, I'm going to show you something fun with bubble wrap. So I'm going to start here with a coat of yellow Decor goldenrod. Now I'm using a paintbrush with that same yellow color and doing every other stripe on the bee with that yellow, and just taking my time following the score marks to fill in those lines. Next, I'm just going to do the same thing with the black and paint every other stripe on the bee and the bee's head. I'm using the color Sage by Folk Art, and I'm just going to use a paint sponge here and paint these words and the little heart. Now I'm just going to paint the bee wings and the 3 flowers in white, and I'll do a couple of coats. Once that's dry, I'm going to use this little dotting tool that I got at the Dollar Tree to add the centers of the flowers, and I'm just using that same yellow, dipping it in and using a circular motion to kind of spread it into that little center where you see the score marks. Now that everything's dry, I'm going to go ahead and distress the pieces. So I'm just going to start by using a fine grit sandpaper and scuffing up the edges, roughing up the edges, and removing the paint just to give it a little bit of a weathered look. And then I'm going to use some antiquing ink with a finger dauber, and I'm just going to go along the edges. Again, this just adds a little bit of a distressed look. Now I'm going to use some Waverly Antique Wax, piece of bubble wrap, and just spread a thin layer of that wax onto the bubble wrap, and then I'm going to dab it off lightly and press along that piece of the honeycomb to give it kind of a cool honeycomb pattern look. And once that's dry, I'm going to take my craft glue and I'm just going to go ahead and assemble all of the pieces. Now I'm just adding this little kickstand piece to the back, which will help it to stand on its own. I hope you enjoyed this video and it gave you a little bit of crafting inspiration. If you'd like to grab this DIY set, you can go to thewoodworkersdaughter.com and visit our DIY Craft Corner page. If you grab this set, share your finished projects with us. Happy crafting!